Have you ever dreamed of finding buried treasure? You know, that classic adventure story where a dusty old map leads to a hidden chest of gold? Well, what if I told you that sometimes the treasure isn't gold coins, but something far, far older and more mysterious? And the map? Well, it's not a map at all. It's the insistent beep of a metal detector in the middle of a seemingly ordinary American field. Today, we're diving into a story that sounds like it was ripped straight from a Hollywood script. It's a tale of curiosity, persistence, and a discovery that rewrites a piece of local history. We're talking about a 500-year-old ship, not found at the bottom of the ocean, but buried deep beneath the soil of American farmland. How on earth did a massive vessel from the age of exploration end up in a place where the only water in sight is a farmer's irrigation ditch? Stick around, because this story is one for the ages. Our story begins not with a swashbuckling pirate or a seasoned archaeologist, but with a group of everyday hobbyists, regular folks with a passion for history and a trusty metal detector in hand. Imagine them, walking patiently back and forth across a vast, quiet field. For hours, maybe even days, the only sounds are the rustle of the wind and the occasional disappointing squawk from their machines signaling a bottle cap or a stray nail. It takes a special kind of patience, a belief that something incredible might be just inches beneath your feet. Then it happens, a signal, not the usual chirp, but a strong, consistent, and deep tone. They start digging. At first, it's just dirt, then their shovels hit something solid. It's not a rock, it's metal, old and corroded. As they carefully clear away the soil, they unearth strange, hand-forged spikes and fittings, clearly not modern. The excitement builds. This isn't a lost piece of farm equipment. This is something else entirely, something old. The finds were intriguing, but they were just the beginning. The metal detectorists, realizing they might be onto something big, did the right thing. They contacted local historians and archaeologists. This is a crucial step for any amateur historian. A discovery of this magnitude belongs to everyone, and it needs to be handled by experts to preserve its secrets. When the professionals arrived on the scene, their initial skepticism quickly turned to wide-eyed astonishment. They expanded the dig site, and the story buried beneath the earth began to reveal itself. It wasn't just a few metal objects. They started finding massive wooden timbers, expertly joined together. The shape was unmistakable. They were looking at the ribs of a ship's hull. A huge ship. But the questions were immediate and overwhelming. A ship? Here? Miles from any significant body of water? How was this possible? The team of archaeologists began to piece together the puzzle, using a combination of historical records, geological surveys, and advanced dating techniques. Carbon dating of the wood provided the first bombshell. The timbers were approximately 500 years old. This placed the ship firmly in the early 16th century, the era of Columbus, Magellan, and the great European voyages of discovery. This was a contemporary of the very ships that first charted the so-called New World. So, we have a 500-year-old ship. Now for the million-dollar question. How did it get here? This wasn't a coastal area. There were no signs of an ancient harbor. The answer, it turns out, was written in the land itself. Geologists were brought in to study the layers of soil and sediment. What they discovered was evidence of a dramatic, long-forgotten landscape. 5 centuries ago, the geography of this region was vastly different. The quiet farmland of today was once a sprawling network of wide, navigable rivers and massive estuaries connected to the ocean. The ship hadn't been dragged overland. It had sailed here. It likely ventured deep inland, following a waterway that has since vanished, silted over, and been reclaimed by nature over hundreds of years. Think about that for a second. The world beneath our feet is constantly changing, and entire rivers can disappear, leaving behind only subtle clues in the soil. The team believes the ship met its end here. Perhaps it was caught in a powerful storm, a common peril for the relatively fragile ships of that era. Or maybe it ran aground as the river levels changed, becoming hopelessly stuck in the mud. Unable to be freed, it was simply abandoned by its crew, left to the elements. Over the centuries, the river receded, and layers of silt and soil slowly, gently entombed the vessel, hiding it from sight and preserving it in an oxygen-poor environment. Finally, generations later, the land was cleared for farming, with no one ever suspecting the historical marvel that lay just a few feet below the plow. What kind of ship was it? Based on the construction techniques, the use of specific types of wood, the style of the iron fittings, and the overall shape emerging from the dig, experts believe it was likely a caravel or a similar type of European exploration vessel. These were the workhorses of the Age of Discovery. They weren't the largest ships on the sea, but they were sturdy, maneuverable, and capable of long-distance voyages, perfect for exploring unknown coastlines and rivers. The artifacts recovered are giving us an incredible snapshot of life aboard such a vessel. Alongside the structural elements of the ship, the team has found personal items belonging to the crew. Things like fragments of pottery used for cooking and eating, a small leather pouch, and even buttons from clothing. Each tiny object is a tangible link to the sailors who lived, worked, and perhaps met their fate on this very spot 500 years ago. These small finds paint a human picture. They transform the discovery from just an old wooden structure into a time capsule. We can imagine the sailors gathered on deck, looking out at a wild, unfamiliar American landscape so different from their homes across the ocean. What were their hopes, their fears? Were they traders searching for new goods, or explorers charting the unknown for their king and country? The ship holds the answers to these questions, and archaeologists are working painstakingly to coax them out. The excavation is an incredibly delicate process. The waterlogged wood, while remarkably preserved, is fragile. Once exposed to the air, it can quickly begin to decay. Each timber must be carefully documented, removed, and transported to a conservation lab where it will undergo a years-long process to stabilize it. This often involves submerging the wood in special chemical solutions that slowly replace the water in the cells, preventing it from shrinking or collapsing. This discovery is more than just a cool story. It has profound implications for our understanding of the past. It suggests that European exploration of the North American interior may have been more extensive and happened earlier than previously thought. Official records from this period are often incomplete. A physical discovery like this ship provides hard, undeniable evidence that can fill in the gaps in the history books. It challenges our maps and our timelines. It forces us to reconsider the landscape itself, reminding us that the world we see today is just a snapshot in a long, dynamic geological story. The fields and forests we walk through may be covering ancient riverbeds, forgotten settlements, or even lost ships. And it all started because a few people with a hobby and a sense of wonder decided to take a walk in a field. It's a powerful reminder that history is not just in museums and libraries. It's all around us. And sometimes it's right under our feet, waiting for a curious mind and a beeping metal detector to bring it back to the surface. This find will be studied for decades to come, and who knows what other secrets it will reveal. What an absolutely incredible testament to the spirit of discovery, both 500 years ago and today. Thanks so much for joining me on this amazing historical journey. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of incredible discoveries. And let me know in the comments, what do you think is the most amazing thing ever found with a metal detector? Until next time, keep exploring.